So I get asked, is head movement important in a fight? Well, only if you don't want to get punched in the face. What I say to my clients and my fighters all the time is move your head. Move your head. Today we will be going over head movement, different types of head movement, different types of defenses. We're going to do slips and we're going to do rolls, and then I'm going to go over different drills that we could do to help with the slips and rolls. Now, important thing, when you hit the heavy bag, a really bad habit that you make is the heavy bag doesn't move anywhere. So when you punch it, you kind of stand planted. You don't move in and out, you don't go side to side. You just stay planted and you just hit the bag with everything you got. In the long run, that's not going to help. Yes, it will help you with power, but when it comes to technique, when it comes to defenses, it's actually going to deter you. So what you want to do is you want to focus on different drills, maybe even pick up some different equipment to help you with head movement, defense, etc. But since we are on lockdown and quarantine and we're all stuck inside the house, I'm going to teach you different things that we could maybe use that's around the house, where you could do drills to help with head movement. Okay, so let me show you what I use. So I'm going to go over two different drills that we could do that'll help you with head movement, specifically relying on slips and rolls. The key important thing that hopefully we all have in the house is a rope. Okay, any rope will do. Just anything where you can just tie one end to another end. Secondly, we're going to work on our slips. So again, we need a rope, and I'm using this. So what this is it's actually a speed bag. Okay, but it popped because I'm just that strong. What I did was I took an empty speed bag and I just filled it with just crap, just to weigh it down. I would say this is probably about 3 pounds. Okay, so it's not too heavy. I need a weight so it just swings back and forth. That's all I really need it for. And I just need to find like a ceiling or like a high place where I can just tie it, and then it just swings back and forth, and then I'll be working my head movement. Okay, that being said, let's go into what a slip is and what a roll is. Okay, so let's get into what a slip is first. It's basically knowing where the center is. And where the center is I'm in the center of the camera, okay? We're at eye to eye level. My goal as a striker is to punch you in the face. So my hands are gonna go straight down the middle. All you're doing with the slip is taking your head out that center. That's all it is. Okay, now there's different ways to slip. You could just slip side to side, or what I like to do is slip forward. Okay, it's a little more risky because you're actually going into the punch, and hopefully you time it correctly so you're at a center even though you're kind of going into that punch. The reason I do that is I don't want to waste a minute. I don't want to waste any opportunities. If I slip forward and I could lean into where they're open, then I want to counter either with a hook to the body, an uppercut, whatever I could find, whatever kind of opening my opponent gives me. So that's why I slip forward, okay? Head is out the center. Now, you want your elbow going to your opposite knee, so it's falling down this way. As it does that, you want your shoulder to follow suit, okay? Now, if I just do that and I turn my neck, then my head is still in the center. I'll still probably get clipped on the top of the head. What I want to do is I want to make sure my spine is straight. Okay, so from my head or from my cranium to my spine, I want that straight, so when I do shift that shoulder forward, my head automatically gets out of center. Now, a mistake that a lot of people do is their eyes follow where their head goes, so they just kind of look that way. I have no idea what's going on in front of me then. So instead of me doing this or looking that way, I want my eyes to shift with my peripheral so I could see what you have lined up. Do I have to roll after? Do I have an opening? What can I do? So my eyes always have to be on the opponent. And when we slip to the other side, same idea. Elbow to opposite knee, shoulder comes in, back spine is straight, and shift at the center. Now the only issue with that is your stance. How is your stance? If your stance is more, it's called an L stance, where your feet are like this, then that means your body is more perpendicular to your opponent. Now, that's not wrong, it's not right. There's no wrong or right when it comes to fighting stances. It's all about the way you fight and what you want to get out of your technique. However, if you stand perpendicular, yeah, the logic behind this is because you want to give your opponent less area to strike. Okay, so if I fight this way, I have a longer jab, and then I'm not giving them my body. And it's easier for me to pull. I have other videos about that as well. However, it's very difficult to slip to my left then because I'm perpendicular. Okay, if I slip from there, then I'll probably get tagged mid-slip, or I won't even slip all the way out the center. It's only when I'm squared up I could slip perfectly out the center, left or right. Okay, so stance is very, very important. So it's all depending on the way you do your stance. The way I teach stance is hips aren't lined up to your opponent, they're squared up. I might turn my body slightly so my midsection's not as exposed, and that's what my forearms and elbows are for. I explained that in a previous video as well. Next, how do we roll? Okay, what's the purpose of rolling? Now, when we slip, remember, that's to get out the center. That's only for straight punches. Straight punches being a jab or a cross, okay? But there's multiple punches. There's uppercuts, there's hooks. If you do MMA or Muay Thai, there are elbows, elbow strikes. I mean, slips won't work with those strikes. So what do I have? I could roll under those punches now. A lot of people, they think rolling is a duck, like you're ducking under the punch. Yes and no, okay? So this is the biggest difference. When you duck, you're using your back. Now, again, this all goes into how your stance is, but most likely you don't want a lot of pressure on your lower back, okay? Rolls come from the legs. There should be no pressure on my back, so I'm not ducking. The second reason why you don't want to duck is look at where my eyes are. When I duck, I'm looking at the ground. I have no idea what I'm coming up to, okay? My eyes always have to be on the opponent. So when I'm here, let's say I slip to my right. This is just the easiest transition to get into it. I slip to my right, okay? So I slip to my right, I drop one level, I'm gonna drop another level. All my weight's on my back leg. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift it to my front leg. And as I do that, as I shift my weight to my front leg, I'm just making a big U with my head. So after I slip, my weight shifts forward and I put all that weight on the left leg, on my front leg. Okay, opposite. I'm gonna shift the weight on my front leg to my back leg and make a big U with my head. So when I'm here, bump, bump, throw my punches, I slip and I roll. Slip and roll. So do you see how my head is never in the center, whether I'm slipping, whether I'm rolling? It never comes up the center. Another mistake a lot of people make is they slip and they roll right into the punch. So it's slip, oh, you missed me, huh? Boom! That's what you don't want. So let's get into the different drills that we could do to practice these. Okay, so let's go over just simple slips. All we're gonna do is we're gonna push this forward, see it swing back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so that's rhythm. We wanna catch that rhythm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip to my left and my right. To my left, my right. Okay, if it hits you, it's fine. We're just trying to get used to the rhythm. That's why we don't want it too heavy. We don't want it too hard. Nice and soft, so just want to get used to the tempo. Now, what I don't want to see is coming here and waiting for it to come back. Coming here. We're going to do a slip, reset, slip, reset. Okay, so we're just timing in our head. Slip, reset, reset. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now if we want to go more advanced, we want to keep the head moving side to side. Pop, 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 okay? And then as we're moving and as we're doing the motion, we're gonna count the pattern of the bag swinging back and forth as we're swinging our head. So boom, 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 and then constantly move. And that's how you wanna work your head movement. If you wanna go a little more advanced, then you can put more footwork into it. What I like to do is I like to do slips and sits. What a sit is basically I'm just sitting doing a squat. Okay, and that's a great leg workout as well because it's basically a squat. What you're doing is a squat lunge hybrid, I guess you could say. Basically sitting down and slip the other way, sit, slip, sit, slip, sit, slip, sit, okay? And if we want to put it more into shadow boxing where we're adding strikes and we're actually moving around with the slip bag, slip, sit, we move around, pop, pop, slip, sit, pop, pop, slip, and then we're just constantly moving to the pattern. Okay, so next what I did was I took my rope and I tied it from this punching bag to that punching bag. So let me show you. So that's a beautiful tie job. And that rope goes all the way across to this bag. That's it, nothing to it. So I want it kind of like at shoulder level. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go under that rope. Just like we went over. Use your legs. I'm not bowing. I have my eyes up, facing forward, and I'm using my legs, making that U with my head, shifting the weight from my back leg to my front leg, and my front leg to my back leg. Once you get used to that rhythm, then we can move forward and backwards. And then we go back. Okay, so these two workouts are great for the legs and the core. On top of, it works your technique as well to keep that head moving. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. I really do hope to see you back in the gym once the dust has settled and we're all safe again. I hope you guys are staying safe. I'll have more videos up for you guys. If you have any requests, please hit me up. And again, please like and subscribe. You'll be notified for future videos. And let me know if you have any questions. But if you don't want to move your head, yeah, just get punched in the face. That's fine. It's your face. I don't like getting punched in the face.